For a family that's known for wearing jean skirts and being forbidden to dance, the idea of a Duggar kid rebelling is kind of hilarious. Patriarch Jim Bob Duggar has no shortage of rules that his kids are supposed to follow, but sometimes that doesn't always work out. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe for more videos from the taco. Shorts. When we think of kids dressing rebelliously, we may think of tight clothing, short skirts, and too much makeup. But when your family is obsessed with modesty and has a strict dress code, it's pretty easy to break the rules by showing minimal skin. Just as Ginger Duggar, considered by many to be the biggest rebel of the bunch. Why, look at her here breaking Jim Bob's rules by showing off her knees in a pair of shorts. Ginger's mother, Michelle Duggar, claims that wearing long skirts and keeping her body covered makes her feel feminine. But apparently, her daughter Ginger disagreed by the scandalous way she shows off her shins. Tight pants. Another sibling who has been flaunting her parents' modesty rules is Jill Duggar. After marrying husband Derek Dillard, she seems to become a bit more adventurous and was even spotted wearing pants on several occasions. Then she spiraled even further out of control and wore a pair of tight pants with heels while speaking to a group of women about relationships. While this may seem like nothing noteworthy, this is a huge no-no for the Duggar family and their like-minded fans. Many people claim that her outfit was so provocative that the students couldn't possibly listen to her faith-based message because her pants were just too tight. Jeremy Vuolo. Potential Duggar spouses need to impress Jim Bob, and many fans wonder how Jeremy Vuolo passed the test. He has an incredibly sketchy past, after all. Well, it's sketchy by Duggar standards at least. He attended a secular college, has consumed alcohol, and even has some tattoos. He's so far outside of the realm of the Duggars that many fans wondered if marrying him was Ginger's ultimate rebellion from her strict parents. It seems that Jeremy is pretty unlike her father, Jim Bob, and we're not surprised that this was exactly what Ginger was looking for in a man. An invitation. The Duggar family has made no secret of their anti-LGBT stance, and matriarch Michelle Duggar even cut out her own older sister for being gay. So imagine their shock when Derek Dillard tweeted a statement welcoming members of the LGBT community to their church. Now, he's made many controversial comments about the community in the past, and many people believe that this was just a publicity stunt. He also stated that atheists were welcome to attend, and we can just imagine how thrilled Jim Bob was to hear about that. The Bad Book. This family is definitely not fans of having their beliefs challenged, which is why Jill Duggar's latest choice in reading materials was so shocking. She admitted to owning a copy of The Story of Reality by Gregory Kukl and is actually reading it. She posted a photograph of the book on social media and told her fans that she was enjoying this interesting read. She recommended it to fans who wondered why God allows suffering or who we were struggling with believing in a higher power. Immediately, many fans were horrified, believing that this post clearly indicated that Jill Duggar has stopped believing in God himself. Although we don't have confirmation that this is the case, even opening herself to such radical ideas is something that must have horrified the rest of her family. Body modifications. Is there no end to the rebellious spree that Jill Duggar has embarked on? She's been caught wearing tight jeans and questioning her faith. Now she's moved on to defiling her body. Well, defiling it by Duggar standards at least. Yes, she dared to get something pierced besides her ears and ended up sporting a nose ring. Apparently, this was a slippery slope, since the very next thing you know, she showed up sporting some ink. Okay, so the ink was made out of henna and therefore isn't permanent, but again, this is the Duggar family we are dealing with here. This is a serious infraction of the rules that goes against how Jill was brought up to conduct herself and treat her body. Maybe she'll even get a permanent tattoo someday if Jim Bob doesn't manage to rein her in before then. Multiple courtship. The Duggar courtship process is a very formal one. It involves lots of praying, meeting with parents, and definitely no hugging, kissing, or prolonged physical contact. It sounds like so much fun that we can totally see why Josiah Duggar wanted to do it more than once. That's right, he's the only Duggar kid of his generation to engage in multiple courtships. The goal of the Duggars is to marry and have kids, so when Josiah began courting Marjorie Jackson, we expected to hear wedding bells in the near future. But shockingly, Josiah and Marjorie called it off with only vague reasons. Next thing we knew, Josiah started courting Lauren Swanson instead. Wine. Happy couple Jill and Derek couldn't resist sharing their romantic Valentine's Day at home with their fans on Instagram. In addition to the cheesy balloon and home-cooked meal, fans noticed that it appeared that the couple was indulging in a bottle of wine. If you're in shock about a couple sharing a bottle of wine on Valentine's Day, take heart. Although Jill and Derek didn't respond to accusations that they were drinking, some fans believe that it has to be some sparkling grape juice and not wine. After all, even these two couldn't have possibly strayed so far from Jim Bob's rules, could they? We may never truly get to the bottom of this potentially shocking rules violation. Birth control. Surprisingly enough, there was a period of time in which Michelle Duggar took birth control. While doing so, she suffered a miscarriage which doctors assured her was unrelated to her contraceptives. Undeterred, Michelle swore off birth control and demanded that all of her children do the same. However, many people wonder if maybe Ginger didn't break that rule. After all, the Duggar girls are known for getting pregnant pretty much the instant that they get married. But it took Ginger over a year to fall pregnant after she got married, fueling rumors that she was actually choosing when to have a baby by using contraceptives. Of course, it's possible that she used the only family-approved method, abstinence, or simply had trouble conceiving her first child. But since it's such a departure from the Duggar norm, we can't help but wonder if some rule-breaking was at play here. Dancing. If they were allowed to watch some secular cinema, the Duggar kids might be able to relate to the premise of the movie Footloose. Members of the Duggar family aren't allowed to dance under any circumstances. According to Michelle Duggar, dancing can invoke sensual feelings and promote promiscuity. We might never know the full ramifications of the horrific actions that Derek Dillard took part in, which were caught on video. That's right, he was seen dancing, and at a party no less. He also posted a video, which has since been deleted, showing other people dancing and clapping to the song Despacito. We have a feeling that even if Jim Bob had ever listened to the hit song, he wouldn't appreciate the provocative lyrics. Hopefully, his marriage to Jill can survive his illicit Despacito listening and dancing. Social media. In the Duggar family, engaged members are finally allowed to have social media accounts, but it seems that Josiah Duggar broke that rule by jumping the gun when he first began courting Marjorie Jackson. Not only was he definitely not yet engaged, but he never even ended up becoming engaged to Marjorie. He was definitely getting ahead of himself and ended up breaking a major family rule. Once they called off their courtship, he didn't even take his Twitter and Instagram accounts down, and even worse, kept updating them. BAYWATCH. Jim Bob and Michelle only allowed their family to watch carefully pre-screened programs on DVD. Jim Bob once confessed to enjoying the Andy Griffith Show, although he still had his complaints about it. He called the show wholesome, but complained that the characters on it didn't spend nearly enough time praying. Not only that, but they also solved their own problems without God being involved, and that's not a message that Jim Bob approves of. But one fan noticed Jim Bob and some of his kids watching a movie while on an airplane, and one that carried an R rating. So, what movie was worth breaking the family's censorship rules? Apparently, it was the Baywatch remake. For shame, Jim Bob. Extended side hug. Only 3 months after marrying husband Austin Forsyth, Joy-Anna announced that she was expecting her first child. Immediately, people began talking, and some people even accused her of being pregnant before she walked down the aisle. Eventually, Joy-Anna decided to come clean and revealed that she and her husband had indeed broken courtship protocol. That's right, the two lovebirds had broken the rules of courtship by chatting after bedtime. According to Austin, the pair stayed up chatting past curfew in direct violation of Jim Bob's rules. But that's not all. They also slightly exceeded the side hug time limit of 3 seconds. Now, we're pretty sure late-night chats and lingering side hugs don't result in pregnancy, but they definitely break Jim Bob's rules. No chaperone. Everyone knows that if you leave a couple of courting teens alone, they might progress to full frontal hugs. That's why the Duggar family insists that all of their kids need to have a chaperone during the courtship process, up until they tie the knot. Not only did Joseph Duggar get to spend some scandalous alone time with girlfriend Kendra Caldwell, but they were even caught on camera doing so. Holding hands. Let's just say that it's a good thing that Jessa Duggar ended up marrying Ben Seawald, considering the amount of times these two defiled the courtship rules. First, they started out with lingering private conversations that weren't closely monitored by a chaperone. On more than one occasion, these two teens even went as far as hand-holding before they were legally married. Truly, there is no limit to the depths of their depravity, and you might want to be sitting down for this one. Prior to getting married, these two were so overcome with affection that they engaged in a full frontal hug. Bikini. Amy Duggar may be Jim Bob's niece, but she's always been a bit of a rebel, especially compared to his own kids. Compared to the general public, she's still pretty conservative, to be honest. But compared to the rest of the Duggar family, she's obscene, outlandish, and totally out of control. She has dated multiple people, kissed her husband before marriage, and didn't properly cover up when going to the beach. The Duggar kids are expected to be modest at all times, and that includes when they go for a swim. But not only does Amy refuse to swim in her clothes like a true Duggar, she even dared to show off her body in a bikini. The beach. Not only are the Duggar kids forbidden from wearing traditional swimwear, but they weren't even allowed to go to the beach at all. Even if they were clothed from head to toe, there simply wasn't a way to convince everyone else on the beach to cover up. But in 2016, Jim Bob shocked all of us by taking his family on vacation to the beach. Although they all swim in their clothes, this was still a big deal for the Duggar family. College. For many people, obtaining some form of higher education is pretty much expected, but in the Duggar family, it's homeschooling or bust. Attending school anywhere but the Duggar household is strictly forbidden, but Joseph Duggar decided to rebel in a huge way. He did so by attending the Crown College of the Bible in Powell, Tennessee. At least he picked a religious school, which must have been a small comfort to his family. Not only did he break his family's heart by going to college, but he chose a school 10 hours away from his parents. He only lasted for a single year before giving it up to get back to the family construction business. Just a friend. There are extremely strict rules for interactions with the opposite sex in the Duggar house. Pretty much you shouldn't ever be alone with someone of the opposite gender unless you're married to one another. Naturally, fans then assume that any man they see hanging around a Duggar girl must be interested in courting them. The Duggar family shared a nice dinner time photo involving a man named Caleb Williams. Immediately, people jumped to the conclusion that he must surely be courting Jana Duggar. This was pretty scandalous as Caleb is far more liberal than the rest of the Duggars. But according to Caleb, the two of them are just friends and he doesn't intend to court his good friend Jana. Short skirt. When most of us think of Duggar fashion, we picture those famous long denim skirts. But Ginger Duggar decided to show off her legs and upgrade her fashion sense with a short skirt that wasn't made out of denim. Not only did she shun the preferred denim fabric, but this outfit also shows off her bare shoulders and entire arms. While the Duggar girls live at home, they're expected to strictly adhere to their father's dress code. Then, once they're married, they need to adhere to their husband's dress code. Jim Bob has reportedly butted heads with Jeremy Vuolo over his standards, and it's no wonder why he typically tries to find partners for his girls that remind him of himself. Do you think that Jim Bob has established good rules that are conducive to a healthy family? Tell us what you think in the comment section, then subscribe for more videos from the Taco. Bye for now.